Young and the Restless spoilers for next week indicate Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti are heating up. We've also got Kyle Abbott making Claire Grace Newman suspicious, and Phyllis Summers bulldozing her way where she is absolutely not wanted. Young and the Restless, Phyllis terrorizes Christine. So as we get closer to November sweeps, which kicks off at the end of October, we're also getting closer to the wedding of Danny Romalotti to Christine Williams. And of course, Phyllis cannot stand that Christine is getting a happily ever after with the man that Phyllis has always wanted, but who never wanted her. At the end of this week, we have Phyllis sitting down uninvited at Danny and Christine's table, and she hassled them because she wasn't invited to their wedding. She didn't even know that much about it or anything, as if Phyllis was ever going to be on the guest list. I mean, it's laughable. She was upset that she didn't know Danny and Christine were about to get hitched. And I remember a conversation a while back with Danny and Daniel where they were talking about the engagement and the inevitability of Phyllis finding out, but nobody really wanted to be the one to tell her. So yeah, it's gotten way down the road. Danny insisted that he wanted to tell Phyllis himself and in person. But he says she's been hard to track down, and she's so wrapped up in Kane Ashby's schemes, obviously. Young and the Restless, Phyllis spars with Christine. Phyllis then did her usual song and dance about how great her career is going. Her life is fabulous. She's taken over the world, blah, blah. Then Christine told Red, "Stay away from our wedding." And Phyllis clapped back and said she didn't want to see Christine in a horrible wedding dress anyway. I just hope Phyllis doesn't do something awful to her wedding dress. There's not telling, right? So Danny tells Phyllis she needs to just let it go. And he says, "Sorry, I didn't tell you about the wedding, or invite you," which is pretty funny because I doubt Danny means either thing. I mean, why would he ever want Phyllis at his wedding to Christine? Cricket said she and Danny are going to last forever this time, but Phyllis was insulting her, saying the usual nonsense about Danny dumping Christine soon. And then the bug hit back at Phyllis about how she's alone, and Christine said that she can't ever make a relationship work. So Phyllis then hit back and said, "Christine can't make Danny happy. Phyllis doesn't even think they'll make it to the church." And Christine said Danny's always there for her, and then they even start kissing in front of her. Phyllis thinks they're putting on a show and trying too hard. After Phyllis finally left, we saw Danny and Christine agree that they're going to have the best wedding ever, but they need to do their bachelor and bachelorette parties. So you'd think Phyllis would just mind her business, just drop it, just focus on what she's got going on in her life. But no. Next week's Young and the Restless spoilers have Christine totally horrified because Phyllis shows up and crashes her bachelorette party. All the other movers and shakers among the ladies in Genoa City are there, but it looks like Phyllis's invitation got lost in the mail because, it was never sent. Christine is disgusted, wants to know what Phyllis is doing there, and obviously it just looks like she's not going to be peaceable about this and let Danny and Christine get married without causing as much trouble as possible. I do think Danny and Christine are going to make it to the I do's and man and wife, but I think Phyllis is going to continue to be problematic until they get those rings on their fingers, and she may not even stop then. Kyle's desperate LA trip and a Newman recasting update on Young and the Restless. Also this week on Young and the Restless, we had Kyle shocking and irritating Claire when he showed up uninvited in LA with flowers and asking to talk. Kyle name-dropped Harrison Locke, trying to convince Claire to come home with him and forget about Holden Novak, but she wouldn't budge. Claire was very polite when she rejected Kyle again, but then he insisted he was going to stay in Los Angeles a few more days in case Claire decided to spend some time with Kyle or go home with him. As expected, Claire seems even more attracted to Holden after Kyle showed up and crashed the trip and refused to take no for an answer. So next week in Young and the Restless spoilers, despite Claire asking him to go back to Genoa City, instead of doing that, Kyle is lurking around the hotel. And he's spying on Holden, who's talking to Sienna Bacall. But then Claire spies Kyle doing the spying on Holden. And Claire wants to know what he's doing. And Kyle kind of tries to pivot and says, no, the question is, what is Holden doing and who is he doing it with? So clearly Kyle is trying to shake Claire's trust in Holden. I don't think it's going to work because Claire already met Sienna and she knows that Holden